So I'm gonna go whatever the next one is. You just today I should just. I'm saying that.
Thursday.
Thursday.
I could do it.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna ask for the floor. It was really funny. Some of them are set aside for seats.
Yes. Okay. All right. It's in the SDC already, so it's 4:03, and we will call the meeting to order. If you did, would you like to lead us in?
Excellent, sure. Repeat after me and hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So today we have four trustees present: Ms. Giddens, Mr. Williams, Mr. Eastless, and myself, Mr. Heldreth.
Mr. Bray will not be.
Yeah, Mr. Pereira will not be here this evening. Business from the floor. Okay. Business from the floor. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is the time for citizens to present problems or questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board, not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. Request to speak card should be filled out in advance and presented to the superintendent's executive assistant. Instructions for submitting remote public comments can be found on our website, busdk12.com, under the tab Board of Trustees. The board has a policy limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. The board limits the total time for public input on each item or topic to 15 minutes or 5 individual requests to speak. The president may review the submitted request to speak or take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue, and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. Citizens who have comments on or against a particular issue may be asked to provide a written statement for the record or to sign an agreement with the written comments of another citizen. All names will be memorialized in minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and number of persons wishing to be heard. For the record, please state your name. Do we have any consent? Okay, well, it is 4:05, and we will adjourn to closed session.
Both. Security with real. Oh.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties for a second there. So the time is. All right, it is 5:06 and we'll call the meeting back to order. In closed session, the board voted to unanimously approve the stipulated suspended expulsion recommendation of student number 242508617393362. And the vote was 4 ayes to 0 nays. The board also took action to reject the claim for damages on claim number 3108327, 4 ayes to 0 nays. And at this point in time, we'll move on to presentations, and I will pass it on to Ms. Ranger.
First presentation is Montero Elementary School.
Hi, my name is David Reeves. I am a third grade student of Montero Elementary School. Today I'm going to tell you what it looks like to be responsible at our school. First, we pick up trash to help the environment. We also take care of the school's belongings. Lastly, at lunch we stay seated and clean up the car. Then we clean.
Hi, my name is Myron Ray Spore. I am a third grade student at Montero Elementary School. Today I'm going to tell you what it looks like to be observant at our school. First, we wear our surroundings, always look for people. Second, pay attention to the people and always be careful. And always be careful and look around for people so you won't get bumped into. And look out for people who are lonely or upset. See if you can try to help them. And thank you for letting me tell you about how to be a good.
Hi, my name is Josiah Garcia. I am a third grade student at Montero Elementary School. Today I'm going to tell you about what it looks like to be cooperative at our school. First, we listen when someone is talking, and we rock the hallways by walking in a straight line and follow directions. Thank you for letting me tell you about cooperative. Hi, my name is Paige Carter. I am a third grade student at Montero Elementary School. Today I'm going to tell you about first, we keep our heads straight and not just to ourselves. This means don't hit, kick, push, or throw. Next, we check on our classmates when they are sad and help them if they are hurt. Last, we respect others by not touching their belongings without permission. Thank you for letting us show you how to rock Montero. Hi, my name is Chanel. I'm a third grade student at Montero Elementary School. I'm going to tell you about habits. At our school at Montero, we recognize by receiving the Habit Award for our efforts in action. Every person submits one where they represent work in writing and reading. We like to have collaborative classrooms where students can feel confident and safe to engage in learning and support each other. We use lots of the color and Fairmont. To organize our work, Habit has helped many students effective in our studies. We are prepared for a bright successful future. Thank you for letting me tell you.
Good job. Yeah. Thank you.
Next, we have the Asian Pacific Islanders Club from Barstow High School.
I am the president of Barstow Asia Pacific Islander Club, and today we're just gonna perform for you guys about our culture. Boy. Yes, but
Let's start. You guys keep it.
We have the district office employees for the month of March 2025. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Our first employee of the month for the month of March 2025 is Veronica Melton. Julie Fernandez. Of your extraordinary dedication and service to the staff and students of Barstow Unified School District. We are proud to honor you as the secondary certificated staff member employee of the month for the month of March 2025. Have your binder, your gift card, your certificate, and we'll get you your plaque. Thank you. Michelle Parrish. Of your extraordinary dedication and service to the staff and students of Barstow Unified School District. We are proud to honor you as the district classified staff member employee of the month. Your binder, your gift card, your certificate, and your gift plaque. Thank you. All right, next employee, Carolyn Norman.
Whoa.
Question of your extraordinary dedication and service to the staff and students of Barstow Unified School District. We are proud to honor you as the management team employee of the month for the month of March 2025. We have your binder, your gift card, your certificate, and your invitation. Thank you so much. You're welcome. All right. Last one is always a secret until we announce it. So for the month of March 2025, the superintendent's choice is Michael Robb. Of your extraordinary dedication, service to the staff and students of Barstow Unified School District, we are proud to honor you as the superintendent's choice staff member employee of the month for the month of March 2025. And I need to say, this man went above and beyond on our month of March step challenge that we have. get a competition going. I also know that you can start walking track as well to get some of those steps accomplished. So congratulations, we have your binder, your gift cards to get in and get your report. So, Christine, we're gonna recess for 5 minute recess.
All right. It's 5:20, and we'll take a 5-minute recess. Yep.
I'll get all your guys. Salad.
Sandwich that they went through.
Good, yeah.
You got it?
Good, sir.
First, we're gonna do every day. Yes, we're going to get it down. I make my photos. You know, I got the top photos, please. You didn't.
Yeah, I'll do a couple this way and I'll do a couple the other way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just make sure at least one of them is okay. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so I wait here while you guys come back or?
No, we're actually, yeah, we're going over there.
Just saying hi.
You go back, I need it in there, so. But.
News to your face. Yeah. Yeah. Treasurer. I'm the president. Yeah, vice president. You'll be vice president. Crazy.
All right. It is 5:26 and we will reconvene. Next we'll go to the approval of the minutes. This will be for the regular board meeting, March 25th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next is business from the floor. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is a time for citizens to present problems or questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board, not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. Requests to speak cards should be filled out in advance and presented to the superintendent's executive assistant. Instructions for submitting remote public comments can be found on our website, busdk12.com, under the tab Board of Trustees. The board has a policy limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. The board limits the total time for public input on each item or topic to 15 minutes or 5 individual requests to speak. The president may review the submitted request to speak or take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. Citizens who have comments on or against a particular issue may be asked to provide a written statement for the record or to sign an agreement with the written comments of another citizen. All names will be memorialized in minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and number of persons wishing to be heard. For the record, please state your name.
We have two, and the first one will be Francesca Regalado to speak to the use and training of tech apps and BUSD dashboard.
Okay, good evening. My name again, as I've been introduced, is Francesca Regalado. I'm a high school teacher at Barstow High School. I've been a teacher since, I think we were trying to figure it out. Mr. Godfrey's daughter, oldest daughter, was in my Spanish 2 class my first year. But I think my first year here, Carolyn, was 2011, 10. So over a decade and a half. One of the things I'm here to talk about is repeatedly in our quest to be better teachers is to use our classroom time effectively. I have 54 plus minutes to teach kids how to speak Spanish. And one of the things I use to keep that going is Class Dojo. So I know the board has looked at Class Dojo and I sent out a little Class Dojo in 5 minutes for anybody that's not familiar with it. But one of the things that it helps me do is maintain the behaviors in my classroom. Again, I teach high school and I use an app that a lot of people consider elementary. But all those Samoans you saw out there going walk up, they love Class Dojo. And one of those was my Class Dojo champion. Okay, Serena's also been in my class. So we use it a bunch of different ways to randomize students. So I go, Leonard is going to answer my question, and it puts them on, like on alert. The other thing it does is a timer, so I could be up here timing myself for 3 minutes so I don't go over, and it shows on the board, and kids are more, instead of talking, they get on task. So now since this, and there's a few other things I can mention, but again, I only have 3 minutes. So I'm asking that if we could please, if there's any way to bring that back, that would make, because since that's gone away, my referrals have probably increased 300%. With our dashboard rates, I know that our testing is low, so I think we should use any means available across the district. Testing is low in math and English. So I would hope that if we could institute that school-wide and or district-wide, a lot of different levels use it, but not everybody's doing it. Again, maybe not the training, and it's like something new to learn. Since we've instituted Go Guardian, I don't know the year that we instituted that. I remember during COVID, I think we did, but we kind of had to struggle. And what Go Guardian does is it watches the screens. So I catch students on pool math games, YouTube, different, everything but what they're supposed to be on. And I can stop that, but there's a way to be proactive to stop that ahead of time, not have me be looking at all the screens. So again, training on Go Guardian. We do have on our dashboard, again, we have all these different apps that we have to deal with, and we don't always get the training we need And if we do, it's, there is a My Training here. And if you click the My Training, you see that you have a Parent Square video and another Parent Square. So there's not really, a lot of training. Thank you so much. That was my 3 minutes. So more training for teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Regalado. And second is Mr. Brian Woolley. Who needs to speak on positive changes at BIS.
Nice.
Forgive me if this is not as polished as I usually am. I'm a realist by nature and a pessimist by habit, so I'm gonna try my best. I want to come today because I understand that a lot of times when you see me, you hear me, it's because I'm trying to address real world problems. My key is to be actionable at all times, try to move the ball forward. And I know that a lot of times you guys have come to our campus and work with me to try to solve some of these problems. One thing I do want to comment and say is that we are showing positive growth. We are turning the needle just a little bit. We are refining our PBIS and getting to the root causes of a lot of our issues. We are trying to push for actual changes that produce results. We're collaborating as much as possible with the teachers to strengthen our expectations, also too, so that they can feel supported. As that is the number one thing that a lot of teachers complain about, or they say is an issue for them. We're handling referrals same day, along with follow-up with teachers, so they feel the support. They not only do they know that we're handling it, but they know what got done, so that they're feeling that their voice is being heard, and they can say, okay, got taken care of. Evidence of this is that our referrals are down for this month. Our equity ratio continues to go on a downward trend. So is it where we want to? No. But every time we do that equity ratio, we see it ink down just a little bit more and more. So that is something that's a positive step on our side. One of the things that we do is change the campus culture led by specific students' behaviors. So I'm going to give 3 examples. We have one student who's highly reactive, attacked me and other staff as well as students, had to go on independent study because of those behaviors. Since coming back, we've been working really hand in hand with the parents. She's done a 180 improvement. Since she's been back mid-January, she hasn't had one fight, only like 2 referrals, and those are for minor things. So this is a big thing that we saw in the fall. Number 2, we had another student who was very explosive, would try to fight you if you look at her in the face. Yet, over the past couple months, once again, she's done that 180. We're seeing her trying to help her peers stay out of trouble. We see her being more compliant and doing more within the classroom. And we just see that classroom have a little less of an edge on them when we go into spot check. Third one is a student who preferred ambushes. He had at least 4 fights before winter break. We knew that it was a kind of a group issue that we were working with. Once again, now we got to the point where he volunteered to go on check and check out. He's going and he's using the cool down room. He's using his breaks and venting and using more verbal dialogue to express when he's getting frustrated or he's getting upset. And such that he is one of those that shows that, hey, he's getting his points nearly every time. And the ones that he's not far off. He had 1 bad hour or 2 bad hours. So we're using a lot of this as kind of our evidence that yes, we have a lot of hard cases. Yes, some of them we're not pushing the needle that, or we're not changing the needle that far, but we have some that are true success stories. We can say this is not the student we saw back in November or October. So with that, I want to say that the time and effort that you put into our site and the time that you spend with me answering my questions or listening to my feedback is being put to actual use. It's not just off into the wind. All right. Thank you much.
Yeah, all for the. Just making sure. All right, next is reports, staff reports, Williams Settlement Q3 report.
That's gonna go ahead and
Yes, as part of the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools monitoring of the Williams Act of 2011, we are required to report how many uniform complaints we receive per quarter. For the fourth quarter report of January through March 2025, I'm happy to report that we received zero complaints as it relates to instructional materials, facilities, and teacher vacancies and misassignments.
Any questions?
Thank you. I know that Williams work was a lot of work. You know, I know the staff puts real hard work behind it, because I was one of them. And, you know, to have zero, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
Next is San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, 2024-2025, second interim financial report review.
And that's gonna go to Mr. Beaton.
Thank you. This letter is a review from the county. It's confirming the positive certification of the BUSD 2024-25 second interim, which I presented last week. So then it goes down to the county, they review it, and then they certify that they also agree that we will meet our obligations for this year and the two subsequent years.
And I believe you meant last month. Reported.
Did I say last year?
Last week.
Last week? It seems like last week.
Last week was last month.
It was last month.
Any question on the report or? Next, we have a corrected copy for the monthly cash report, April 2025.
Also to Mr. Beaton.
Thank you once again. This report has been corrected to include the most recent report as of the 7th of April. It shows that the district has $85,184,787.49 as noted in the county treasury report. This indicates a positive cash flow down at the county. The balance reflects the amount of cash on hand as of April 7th. It also shows the cash that remains in the general fund after transactions have gone through the receipt or disbursement process. So on the report, you'll see the week, it goes from week to week. Each week it shows the differences, the money coming in and the money going out. And so that is the impetus of that report. So what cash we have, just like you would have your own savings. Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Next is the enrollment report, month 8.
And it's also goes to Mr. Beaton. It's getting them all tonight.
Because we don't have a second meeting in March, we're doing them all.
Oh, that's true.
And so at month 8, if compared to month 7, the district is down 16 at the elementary and we're down 17 at the high school. I do understand that we are, more kids are coming to enroll. So you're seeing the difference there. It's not as high as it would be if we were coming in. And just to let you know, if we look at month 8 compared to month 8 from the year ago, we're down by 4.6%. And once again, I just want to let you know that if we're not funded on enrollment, however, if we wanted to replace that percentage with a number, you could take the average for people spending from approximately 10,000, and that would equate to 330,000. However, there's a lot of factors of how the district is funded, such as COLA increases and ADA changes that contribute to the overall.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
All right. Next is the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, board members, staff, and guests. Yesterday, 3 deputy attorneys general from the Office of the Attorney General for the state of California, Department of Justice, with the Bureau of Children's Justice were in the district. Supervising Deputy Attorney General Laura Fair and Deputy Attorneys General Jonathan Benner and Christina Gutierrez visited Barstow High School, Barstow Junior High School, and Barstow Intermediate School. Their visit included site visits, classroom observations, and unscheduled check-ins with staff and students. Later that afternoon, Deputy Attorneys General Jonathan Benner and Christina Gutierrez held open office hours at Barstow Junior High School to meet with staff or parents of Barstow Unified School District. I walked with all 3 attorneys general, and I enjoyed walking our school sites, visiting with our staff, and engaging with our students. Our next Parent Guardian Student Community Alliance meeting, or PGSC, is tomorrow. We will meet in the Barstow Fine Arts Academy multipurpose room at 4:30 p.m. I will be providing basic information on the California Collaborative for Educational Excellence, California's System of Support, and California School Dashboard. Additional topics will include an update on the district's engagement with the Department of Justice as it pertains to our stipulated judgment, and a presentation from our Title IX UCP Compliance Officer, Rebecca Michelson. We will be serving light snacks and hope to see parents, guardians, students, staff, and our community in attendance. The district will be closed on Friday, April 18, 2025 for Good Friday. The week of April 21 through April 25, 2025, the district will be on spring break. Schools will be closed, but most district departments will remain open. Please contact the department you wish to visit to verify they are open. On September 23rd, 2024, Governor Gavin Newsom signed the Phone Free Schools Act, requiring California school districts to establish policies that restrict or ban student cell phone use by July 1, 2026. The law allows flexibility for schools to determine their own rules, but mandates restrictions to support learning. As we plan for the 2025-26 school year, staff, students, and families will hear increased attention to BUSD's board policy 5131.8, mobile communication devices, and measures school sites will be implementing, expanding, or continuing related to student cell phones. Currently, one school site uses classroom cell phone lock boxes, and one school site uses lockable cell phone pouches. All other school sites use practices to keep student cell phones in their backpacks or other storage options during the instructional day. Studies have proven that excessive smartphone use among young people is linked to increased anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. I'm asking all parents, guardians, students, and staff to assist school administrators with their school's practices regarding student cell phones. Please speak to your children about BUSD's board policy 5131.8, mobile communication devices, and California's Phone Free School Act. It will take everyone doing their part to ensure every student in Barstow Unified School District is provided a safe environment conducive to learning.
Thank you. Next, we have board reports and input. Ms. Gibbons, you have a report?
I was really impressed with the Samoan dancing, and then I want to give a shout out to Montera as well. They have some really strong readers in the room today, so that was very impressive, really good. But that's all for me today. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
Yeah, I like to piggyback off Ms. Gibbons. Very impressive presentation by the kids from high school and Montera. And you know, it's always good to recognize the staff. I love that. People are very happy when they get up there and get a certificate and all that. And we need to keep that going. It's very, very fantastic. I didn't visit any school this week or last week. I don't think so. No. And but we will be visiting the school tomorrow at Cameron. We're going to participate in mathematics escape room. We'll probably never get out, but it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's all.
Mr. Eustace?
Yes, I'd like to send out my prayers or thoughts for the poor young lady that was student was hit by a truck yesterday. Also would like to piggyback and be a copycatter on the Montera, the high school presentation today. It was awesome. I'm glad to see the kids. It takes a lot to sit in front of somebody and say boo. You know, they're sitting up there talking and hair combed real nice and stuff. I really enjoy that. And the cell phone thing, you know, I'm really big on that. I take care of kids. There's two young men I've been taking for the last 9 years. And about 4 years ago, go and ate at a restaurant, and they're sitting there on their cell phone. And I told them, I said, "Are you going to have that person pay for your lunch?" So they went and took back their cell phone. So, you know, I'm really strong advocate on, you know, when you're in the classroom, you should be learning, eyes in front, listening to your teacher. And it's disrespectful to be on your phone while somebody else is talking to you or facilitating the classroom. I also was at Central today, went to the opportunity class. Was greeted real good by the classified and certified personnel in the classroom there. It's got to be one of the hardest jobs in the district, I'm sure. Also went to the high school, checked out a few of the maintenance projects they got going on there. Mr. Navarro took me around. Thank you very much. The golf cart, I was glad. My hip was killing me. I didn't feel like going up and down those steps. But it looks like, all the projects are going good. That one of the shop area looks like it's almost completed. You know, I asked Mr. Hooker for a couple pictures. I haven't got them yet, but I'm sure he'll send them to me. Didn't want to climb up the ladder and look up there. I didn't want to go up the Kennedy Drive behind STEM. Looked like I'm spying on anybody, so I wanted to ask him for a picture or something. Thought it was great. And another thing, I say that we're sending people for training left and right and stuff, and then we're down in the conference in Anaheim before the year was over with. They were talking about stressing that the classified, the first people you see when you walk in the door anywhere. I don't see where we're getting enough training for them. Like our accountant, Scott's department. I think we need to look into that and send these people. Things are changing so much. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they're not behind or whatever, but I think they need to go to some conferences or whatever you want, end services or whatever you want to call them. I'm a big, strong advocate. I learn a lot when I go to those. Not so much in the coaching clinics. I think I know everything. So. But I sure hope we keep in mind on that. And again, the poor little girl, I feel for it when I got the message last night. I can only imagine what the parents are going through and everybody involved, and then the poor guy that was driving the truck. I'm sure he's, a mess. And I have more. I eat at a restaurant, Villa Village, and on Saturday mornings, and we're talking. There's a grandmother with her grandson there, and he's been going there for the last few months with her and stuff. And then he asked me a question the other Saturday of what got me into, politics or my civic duty and stuff. And I told him, well, if you watch the meeting, I'll tell you. So he will be able, the next meeting, he'll be able to have a computer to watch, and I'll bore you guys to death why I am so big on the civic duty and stuff. With that, thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. I'd like to start by just seconding everything that everybody else has already brought up, especially as far as with the student and the families. Wishing everybody the best in that situation. Did want to say congratulations again to all the staff. It's just good to see. It's one thing, everybody kind of does their job every day, but it's nice to get a plaque. It's nice to hear your name called for all the good work that everybody's doing. And we do definitely as a board appreciate it very much. So thank everyone, not just the award winners, but all the employees of the districts. And the students, I really love seeing the students there. That's definitely my highlight as far as coming here is being able to see the students and the work that we do and why we come here. I did want to talk just a quick second as far as the board workshop. We'll get into it a little bit later. But I felt like it was a good, the board, we were working on our self-evaluation, kind of to, call ourselves to the table on the things that we need to improve on. As well as working with the superintendent's evaluation and kind of how we can all get on the same page and move the direction forward. What else did I have? I did want to say just I'm really happy for being here and now having new members here, just to see the amount of site visits everyone's going on, to see the amount of questions that are being asked. There's a large amount of participation that I see happening, and I think good things are coming out of it. So thank you to all of you for everything you've been doing since you've been here. And again, good to hear just that good things are happening around the district. I think we're all headed in a good direction. Not perfect, but we're working to get there. So, okay. Thank you to everybody. So next we have the student representatives report. I was just told that our representative is at a track meet, but we would like to welcome the junior class secretary, Serena. How do you pronounce your last name? I don't want to say it wrong. Keiki. Okay.
Hi everybody. Just to fill in, so things at BHS right now, we're finishing up our prom sales. We're almost sold out, luckily. Prom ticket sales should end hopefully by the end of this week. Also, we're very excited to hear about the Square payment coming to BHS. I feel like it'll help us a lot with payments, especially big payments like prom and other big dances and stuff like that. Because people don't really carry around cash anymore, so it's a lot easier than going all the way to the bank, getting the cash and coming back. And really, we're just excited for the new things to come to ASD. We're hoping for a lot of great stuff going on next year. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well, thank you. Good to see you. And this is the point. You're more than welcome to stay for the duration of the meeting. But if you would like to leave, you're free to go anytime you like.
Thank you.
Serena, what's tomorrow's Spirit Day?
Dress as your type.
Oh, dress as your type, right? We're in Spirit Week, ladies and gentlemen. So if you come on campus and I'm not in form, I'm like in time. So
Cool. Thank you.
I was 70s on.
Next is the representatives report, BEA.
Okay, so VA today is just kind of requesting an important safety update for VIS to better protect our students and staff. Currently, there are several classrooms without the metal grates on the windows, which create a serious security concern, making it easier for unwanted individuals to potentially access rooms where students are present. We're also asking that the classroom windows at VIS and on any campus that have the portable classrooms with the windows that drop low. There's a lot that drop real low where people can just look in. That we can get something to cover them or like have something that blacks out the windows to prevent outside visibility into the student occupied spaces. It was brought to our attention when they do lockdown drills that you're supposed to like move your kids away from the window. But I mean, it's just open. You can totally see the kids. So it's not going to stop a safety issue if we have any unwanted visitor on there. So we're asking maybe we can get some blackouts. Most of our members that have these classrooms have actually had to purchase curtains with their own money. So because nothing's been provided for them, but they're saying that the curtains are just ineffective. No matter if you clip them when you walk by, the wind just still does it. You know, middle school kids, they open them anyway, so it's hard to keep the curtains there. So we're asking for this kind of metal grates for the safety of our students and some kind of blackout. That way people can't see in. I mean, you know, if you're trying to tell us we're supposed to hide from this and then you can't hide and see into it. And then we're still waiting to receive a list of mediators. We can move forward with our collaboration with the district cabinet. And then we had a exec board meeting yesterday, and Ms. Hess, let me bring it up. We feel there's rocks in the family whose child got hit over at Crestline. And we don't really know what kind of stop signs they have, or if they have one or two people, but it's a big road. It was brought up by a couple of our members to get the stop sign with the lights on it. They have flashing lights on it. I know that some of the schools, like we have ones got flashing lights. And then maybe two of them, one on each side of because it's a 4-lane. So I just said I'd bring that up since we got the meeting. Concern for the kids is always our number one thing. So I'm for the city to put in a light, but we all know reality of what that takes. So we don't know what the procedure is, but just to bring that point up. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is CSEA.
Hi, Gary Thomas, CSCA Communication Officer.
At our last general meeting, we covered a few things and got some things voted on. We put on our delegates for our annual CSCA conference that will be in Reno this year. We voted on, these things voted and passed. We voted on the payment allocation for Jose Cruz for covering interim position as purchasing director. She's now the actual purchasing director, which is covered first department. It's great. We also passed an MOU for contracted work to help out some of our employees who just not enough labor to go around for the jobs that need to be done. Coming up in our next meeting, we'll be covering, we will be voting for the TA. We did get that back from the 610 process from our main office, so that's going to be a great step forward. We're also done with our survey for our sunshine openers. So our next e-board meeting, which will be Wednesday, we'll be covering and starting to get together what we're going to be looking at to present for our openers. So that's coming forward. I'd like to also thank the management board for helping our 4K paraeducators to land on their feet due to some of the programs closing out that are being rejected. And they really did step up and help find our paraeducators and our members land on their feet or have security and continue to work for the district. I'd also like to publicly thank Ms. Crane and George Gutierrez was in here the other day. We had to take care of a serious security issue at one of our sites, and they both took care of it with great dire need and did not hesitate to step in and make sure our members felt secure and were able to come back to work and work in a safe environment. So and that's about it for now. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Personnel Commission?
Yes, good evening, board members, staff, and guests. This is the report from the Personnel Commission. Currently, we have no interviews in process. No recruitments are in the testing stage. However, we do have 3 recruitments that are open, and they will close this Thursday, April 10th. We currently have 375 classified employees. 164 of those are 8-hour full-time. We have 118 benefited part-time and a total of 82 non-benefited part-time. And as always, we have 50 classified management employees. For the classifications, the security classification, we have no vacancies. For safety, we have 2 vacancies and we're currently scheduling interviews for those. Custodial, we have no vacancies at this time. For the paraeducators, we conducted our big interview date on the Parapalooza. We have made offers to 10 full-time pairs or nearly full-time. Some of those positions were 7 hours plus. They have accepted and we're in the onboarding process for those positions. Our next step would be to interview for the part-time pair positions, so lesser hours. And we're coordinating a date currently for those interviews, likely in about 2 weeks. In the meantime, our office is gonna pause and move to test some of the positions that have already closed. We have about 5 classifications that closed the posting, so we need to review applications and move to testing. So that's what we're gonna fill the next 2 weeks. The first classification we're looking at is the health assistant. So that would be next in line. Then we have maintenance worker 1, nutrition service 2, school accounting technician, and eventually we'll get to the buyer, which is one of the ones that is closing this week. With the office assistant positions, all those interviews were held and positions are filled, so there's no vacancies there. We're also still working with nutrition services for some additional positions. So we're coordinating that with them. In addition, our office is currently working on some of the length of service certificates, which some of you may have to sign here promptly, reasonable assurance letters, and also some of the end of the year letters. So there's a lot of administrative work that we're working on. With the campus safety and security trainings, we have to reschedule our training for this month. We're trying to come up with content. We think it's going to be a team building structured training, and we're still working out the details, but we'll send out communication with that information as soon as we have it. Our next BC meeting is this coming Thursday, April 10th, at 4:30 in this room. Please, everybody's welcome. We also wanted to report that tomorrow we're onboarding noon duty supervisors. So there's a lot of applications that came in. So between 11 and 2, that's exclusively what we're doing tomorrow. And also that our commissioners and I attended a labor and employment conference, March 27th. And that is training for us on labor and employment, right? And how to better our classified employees and get better advice. That is, let's see, we have a CSEA Employee of the Year selection this week. We had the applicants that we initially wanted to submit to the county, but we're not eligible. So we're screening those and we'll have an announcement shortly once we get all the scorecards back. That is all I have to report.
Oh, thank you.
I just had one question. As far as with all the paras, and I know there's special sped paras, you know, the higher hour paras, and with the part-time.
Yes.
Do you know at least with where we are? I know you said we had to retest, I believe, for some of the special needs paras, but with the regular on that side, are we looking like we'll have enough to fill? Because I know we were really high. I don't know the exact number. I'm thinking 40-ish, somewhere in that region.
Right.
Are we able to fill? Is it looking like we'll have enough?
In the regular para list, we have 62, so we are good.
Okay.
The issue would be when we're calling for interviews and people turn us down, right? They say, you know, I have another job, or I'm not interested anymore, or these aren't enough hours, or I'm looking for a part-time position, or I don't like that location, right? So there's some of that happens.
Okay.
But so far that list is good. The para ascent list, yeah, that was exhausted, and it's for that same reason. We had enough, however, people started to turn us down. Once rubber met the road and they understood the assignment, they didn't want to do it. Or the hours, because some of those are part-time, 2.5 hours, so they turned us down. So we're open again, that list will close, then we got a tab. And make sure that you have to answer yes to these 10 questions that they will be doing this work, right? And if they answer no to one of those, they can't do the work. They have to be able to do all the work. So once we get that list going, we'll go again.
Good. All right. Next, we have the adoption of the agenda, and we do have an addendum to add L11 board self-evaluation review. Do I have a motion?
We'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next, we have the consent agenda. Does anybody have any items that they would like to pull? None. Okay. I have from Ed Services K24 2526 application for funding consolidated categorical. Under business services A41, the author piggybacks. And under personnel services, A6B2, employment of classified limited term substitute personnel. Everybody else was good?
And you got one of the ones I wanted in.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we were good. Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda with items pulled?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. First, we will go to K24 to 2526 application for funding consolidated categorical aid programs.
That's gonna go to Ms. Fisher.
So each year, in the spring, we have what's called the consolidated application for federal funding that opens. Our department oversees that, and we bring to the board the funding that is estimated for us with federal funding. So we have 4.9 million for Title I. These are all estimates of what we will receive if we apply and if it's approved by the board to apply. For Title II funds, we have 466,000. Our Title III funds, English learner funds, we have 72,000. Our Title III immigrant funds, potentially 6,000. That depends on if we qualify for that, depending on our student base. And then our Title IV funds, 323,000, and Title V funds, 208,000. So we are asking the board for approval to submit the application for funding, as well as approve Ms. Swearingen as our authorized agent for the board.
Cool. Thank you. Whenever I first saw it, I just wanted a little bit of an additional explanation, and then also just with highlighting on there just how much money, just kind of so everybody sees it, it's starting from the top as far as Title I, that's, just short of $5 million that, that we have, that the district's pouring in inside of all the different programs. So whenever we have all these other things that are coming up and everybody wants to know where, where that's coming from and inside of the breakdown. So, because I think they're all great programs. I highly think, everyone's doing a great job applying for the funds, using the funds. I like seeing it, but just wanted a little bit, I guess, extra so everybody kind of saw just how much the work you're doing. So, do you guys have any questions on it or?
No.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is K41 authorization to piggyback on Los Angeles Community College District Contract 40530.
And that's gonna go to Mr. Beaton.
Yes. So, the reason we're gonna piggyback is, we can save money by not going out to bid, and we're trying a new company, next month. Comes highly recommended. The reason we're getting the portable is our classrooms at the STEM Academy are being transferred from PE to the regular classroom, so we need an area for the kids to, for inclement weather and to continue on with the PE class.
Cool. Thank you.
You will.
Do you guys have any questions? I would imagine that also would shorten the time frame as far as getting them without having to go out for bid. Does that also shorten the timeline?
We still have to go out to bid for the installation, but this, in order to have our modular purchased, that'll save that time so we can have but we still have to hook it up and do all the trenching and all that. And that part is still gonna have to go out to bid. So
Gotcha.
that'll be coming to you soon.
Okay, that was gonna be my next thing. Okay. Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And next is phase 6B2, employment of classified limited term substitute personnel.
In Mr. Gutierrez's absence, I have asked Dr. Williams to address this item.
Thank you, ma'am. We have 5 individuals listed tonight to serve as classified subs within the district, and they're submitted for your approval and we're available for questions.
Well, my question was kind of answered already. I had already had it in my plan to pull, but my question was as far as being where our staffing was in regards to having substitutes, which I love having substitutes, but normally that's an indicator that we are fully staffed, on the actual position side, but you already informed me of that, so.
Mr. Ortiz, I gave the update as far as existing positions go. These 5 individuals will be coming on to the list either as new substitutes or added to a different list. Maybe in the future, we hope it to be an entry point for something long-term, or just if that's what folks are looking for right now to increase our sub pool. So when staff members are away, there's still coverage at each of the sites.
Yeah, cool. Good to hear. We're finally getting staffed up, so it's good to hear. Any questions on
Not
that?
at this time.
All right, I'll go ahead and make the motion. Can I get a second? All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, now we'll go into discussion items. First, L11, board self-evaluation review with Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes, and we have Miss Jane Gonzalez here with the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools Governance Advisors.
Yep,
And so
a long title.
that is a long title. I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me back. I appreciate it. Did I just tell you that?
If you just say next slide, we have a magic man behind the curtain that will click through for us.
Yeah.
I don't
Very
have the clicker
talented-
tonight.
Very talented person too. Okay, so, what we discussed last week when we, set off on this little venture was that, the board self-evaluation is a tool that we present to you, but I only facilitate and, but you're the ones that make the decisions, if there is any decisions to be made at the end of what's next steps you want to take. Next slide, please. We highly recommend the book, The Governance Core by Michael Pollan, because it really embraces a school board's role and, the characteristics that make those school boards effective. So as you can see right up there, what that basically is saying is that according to the governance core, that one of the major characteristics that indicates effectiveness of a school board is the way they self-monitor themselves. And because of that, you chose to do this, which is commendable. We'll go on to the next slide. So in March, you took the self-evaluation, which was only last week. This particular self-evaluation, for just so everyone else knows, it consists of 40 statements. They all fall under 7 sections of what does make a school board effective. And so they took their time. They went through a very I want to compliment you because you took your time and you thought heavily about this. So it was obvious in your answers as well, and I really appreciate that as well. Next slide. So then once we had the answers that were done electronically, we were able to create the pie charts that you all got a copy of already. And we're going to go into the summary of that right now. And I'm going to group this because if I went through all 40 of them, we would be here quite some time, and we don't want to do that. So section 1 is all about board meeting protocols. And so what you see up there are some examples of the statements that were under it. There are 5 altogether, but these are 3 that show you the type of statements that were happening in section 1. All about the board meeting especially. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. In this particular section, you can hit the results as well. All of your questions were marked either most or all of the time or often. The choices are most of the time, often, seldom, or never. So in this one, you guys are very cognizant of what your role is in this room and what the rules are in this room, and you abide by that. So we'll go to the next slide. There was one board member suggestion that, we all, and I'm saying that as the board member, all continue to read the agenda ahead of the board meeting and attempt to ask questions prior to the meeting, just so you can clarify what something means on that agenda before you get here. All right, next slide. So 6 through 10 were pertaining to board and community relations, and you can see those examples there. It's about their role as a board member out in public mostly. So let's go on to the next slide. So all 5 of the questions here again were marked most or all of the time or often. Okay, so next slide. So the results for number 10 were 100% often instead of most or all of the time. So, and there were comments that you put on there for this one, that this was an area, 1 or 2 of you suggested for growth. But when we were together last week and I was an observer for part of Deanna's presentation and then you had some great discussions last week. You're out there, you're doing it. I'm hearing Chamber of Commerce, I'm hearing Rotary, I'm hearing, attending the meetings from BNSF and all of that. So it's a matter of just recognizing that you're doing this already you know, pat yourself on the back and maybe even coming back and sharing if you're the only one at a certain meeting about how that's going, okay? So yeah, I don't see any growth in trying to get out there. You're doing it. You're doing it. Okay, the next section. This is board quality. So there you see, they're visible in the community. They trust individual board members, work collaboratively together, etc. So let's go on to the next slide. So in this case, 6 out of 8 of the questions were marked most or all of the time or often. Let's move on. So question number 12 was marked most of the time or often or seldom. And this is the one where it says that the board is attuned to the needs of the community and students. And then question 14 was went along with this one in the same way where it was most often or seldom. And that's the board is visible in the community. Can we go to the next slide, please? So it's clear you love your community. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind after listening to you last week that you love your community. And you want to be a part of that community. And I wrote down there in the second comment that, you know, you could divide and conquer if you feel like you're missing some aspect of it, whether it be city council meetings, but I heard people saying they're at city council meetings too. So, you know, you could assign each other in those type of things to get there and do that. But I'm going to go back and remind you that you're already doing it. So maybe it's not as big of a concern as you think it is. All right, next slide, please. Okay, statements 19 through 22 pertaining to how the board continues to grow, the board development. There's a couple of examples about seeking reading literature, attending conferences. Next slide, please. And 20 was rated most or all the time or often. The other 3 statements regarding reading pertinent literature, board self-evaluation, and board service had various responses. So if you could go to the next slide. So these are suggestions. You don't have to pay any attention to these if you don't want to, but during board comments, it may be a good time if you've read something. I know you all get the literature that all board members get, CSBA, etc. If something perked your interest, or if something you feel like relates to something going on in Barstow, it's okay in your board member comments to mention that reading so that you're sharing. And then the other board members do know, hey, I need to go back and read that article. That sounds like we could use some of that information. You started your board self-evaluations, which I know you've had them in the past as well. So that's done. And then you could consider establishing a plan for board services at the beginning of the school year. I know that a lot of boards establish a budget for board trainings and conferences, etc., and just map it out for the year, and then you've got your plan in place, and then you know it's getting done. It's checked off. Okay, next slide. Okay, policy development, and this is a critical duty of the board. It's one of their big duties. So it means the first one talks about developing policies, and then the second one talks about the periodic reviews of them, which you get. And I know that you're working on getting them into a regular cycle from CSBA through their program called Gamut. So, you know, those will start coming to you 4 times a year so that you're updating those policies that need to be updated. And a lot of times it's like, I know you talked a little bit about this last week. It's just a minor change in language to update it, or, you know, those types of issues. And then, of course, for those of you who were here during COVID, they were flying fast and furious. So sometimes it's a matter then of deciding whether you want to commit it to board policy, because if it's already law, it's there. You can't change that. So, you know, it's just a matter of those considerations. So we'll go to the next slide. And so statements 25 and 26 were marked most or all the time or often. Questions 23 and 24 had various responses. So we'll go to the next slide. 23, both of these were regarding board policies. The comments that I read that you wrote down showed me two things, and we've got a few on the board that just aren't familiar with this process yet, so once you learn more about it, you'll see what's rolling in your district. And then there was a little discussion and a comment made about, working on some new policies just for Barstow, intended for Barstow, that you would collaborate on. And you already solved that problem last week. So, and it wasn't really a problem, it's just a plan for what's gonna happen when we have to do this. Okay, next slide. And this is about board and superintendent relations. So it's about communication with the superintendent. It's about communication coming from the superintendent and making sure that it's two-way all the time. And then the second one does mention about the informal evaluations that many districts are picking up on, where the superintendent will present mid-year and give you a thorough update of what's going on, and then you give feedback to the superintendent. So if we can go to the next slide for the results. So 6 out of 8 were most or all of the time or often, and then 31 and 32 had various responses. So it ranged. So 31 was regarding the superintendent evaluation, and you began modifying that process last week. So that's another area where you're on target. And then 32 had to do with the superintendent professional development. And then the comment said that, hey, I just don't know yet what kind of professional development she's getting. So just, if you listen for her when she's sharing, it's constant. I thought it was. They have the superintendent leadership series through the county where they're getting professional development there. There's AXA, and it's reading, it's conferences, it's all that. Not to mention the fact that when you do attend either CSBA, Coast to Coast, or NSBA, and your superintendent is with you, that's also considered professional development for her as well. Okay. And then last section 7, district goal setting and strategic planning. So, there's that one statement sums up what the whole section is about. Is how you help establish the goals, and then you move forward with those goals and monitor those goals. So let's go to the next slide. And all 5 of them contain various answers, and let's go on again. So in aligning the district goals, and then this was a huge discussion with you, is you establish the goals, which I know is an upcoming work still. Yeah, and then allow cabinet to set the objectives and the actions, and then establish a process for frequent sharing and monitoring for progress. So some districts will do it monthly at a board meeting, where they'll show you a dashboard of where they're at in these particular goals or objectives, and just give you an update on how things are going in that world. Okay, next slide. So in conclusion, the Barstow Unified School Board takes their role very seriously and strives to take part in continuous improvement, specifically in board and superintendent growth, community relations, and long-range planning. And then the board works hard to seek information, learn, and grow together to support student success. I have to say that was 100% obvious last week. You sat here, you asked questions, you asked for clarification, you gave opinions, and the whole time I'm sitting here, I'm listening, and everything you said and did last week was on behalf of the school district. And it was impressive. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here, and my compliments to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys have anything you wanted to say about it, or?
I just want to thank her. She's been very hospitable and opening safe space to ask questions, engage, and we really appreciate you being so open to, especially myself being new. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, same thing. As there's 3 of us who are new, we were able to work through things and ask the questions and help a lot. On another side, I thought it was great.
You're good.
I thought it was great. Come on.
Yeah.
Anybody agree?
Yeah.
Anytime you're learning, it's a good thing.
There you go. No, it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. Be able to ask those questions that are in our heads, but sometimes we don't say it, especially being new. Helped a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Glad. Thank you.
And, you know, me as an ex-coach, you know, when you're coaching somebody and they're a good player, you push them and push them. And I think that's what we did with ourselves.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it, you know, and I thought our discussions, we didn't agree on everything and, you know, but that's why we have 4 people here, you know what I mean? And we don't have one. And I thought it was very, very, very good. And, you know, it didn't bother me one bit, you know, but it was refreshing. And I thank all you guys for participating the way you did. Thank you very much. And you know, we needed it and we still need it, you know what I mean? We're not perfect, we're far, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thank you.
I just want to say the same thing as you guys have all been saying already, but thank you for one, facilitating, and two, putting all that into a condensed version. I did read through all the questions, but that did help just having that perspective on everything. So thank you for all that work, and thank you for all of you guys, and also for Ray if he is listening. There were really, really good questions, good comments, good, you know, all kinds of different perspectives, looking at the questions, you know, from different lenses. And I really think there was good information put out, and good dialogue that happened. And I think I just want everybody to know, like, that's why all those answers were so varying. We are super hard on ourselves. Not everybody may not see that all the time, but trust me, we really do care, and we want to try to do the best job we can do. We don't want to be hypocrites. We don't want to sit here and say, well, you should all be doing this, but we're just perfect sitting up here. That's 180 degrees from that we want to hold ourselves accountable to the highest standard that we possibly can. So, yeah, I think it was good. And just, thank you for everybody for your input. I think it was really productive. So I feel good about it.
Yep.
For it, I don't think we need to don't vote just informational, right? All right. Next we have Ed Services, L21, schedule of graduation promotion ceremonies, May 2025.
Yes, we are entering graduation season and promotion season for that matter. 3 of our schools will be graduating students with diploma, commencing with adult ed on Saturday, May 17th, finishing with Barstow High School on Thursday, May 29th at 7 p.m. The purpose of presenting this to you tonight is to ask you to identify the ceremonies that you will attend. You can work with Ms. Christina Crane on that so that we can ensure that there's the board is well represented across all of our schools.
I did just have one small thing, just got to say it. For the high school, and we make sure that the sprinklers are on.
Guaranteed.
You're up there with your suit, you're gonna hope it turns on.
Well, last year.
Yeah, I was there. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Mr. Herker was in the, I don't know if you
Yeah.
all know, he was actually in the bleachers and was mortified when they came on, so.
Nobody's perfect.
He's
Yeah.
well aware.
No, I know.
He's well aware.
Yeah, he was mortified when that happened and actually in a state of shock. So yes, I think he'll make sure.
Can I get a motion?
The grass is looking real good.
Yeah.
I don't, what are we motioning to do exactly?
Yeah.
So,
Would like to attend certain.
yeah, okay. So right now, we're just approving this schedule. So it's not our personal attendance at each of them. And then we will, afterwards, we'll let them know, and Christina, and we'll kind of write in each one, hey, we're gonna do.
I have the form for you guys to fill out tonight.
Yeah. Yep. So we're just approving
schedule.
just what the
I'm
schedule
gonna
is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our question, but I will motion.
All right, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for asking.
Next is pupil services, L31 Syntex Solutions, records management contract.
And Mr.
Yes, Dr. Heather Reed is requesting that the board consider approving a contract with SciTech Solutions. Currently, the Pupil Services Department manages about 1.5 million documents as it relates to IEPs. That goes back at least 7 years. I think in the verbiage of the policy or the item here, there were over 51 cabinets that had to be moved over to Pupil Services to their new spot. The purpose of the contract would be that we're looking for scanning services for special education records to improve accessibility and organization. SciTech will digitize these records and implement a structured, searchable database. This will ensure that staff can efficiently retrieve documents while maintaining compliance with retention policies. The plan is that they will leverage current technology that we have in our district. It's called Microsoft 365 via a platform called SharePoint, which is also utilized by San Bernardino County schools for the same purpose. And the amount of the contract is $159,875.60. This is also currently being utilized by our adult ed program in the district. And we request your approval.
I'll move.
Oh.
I think we have comments, sorry.
Yeah, Ms. Williams?
I got a question. We use this with adult ed. Is it the same company?
Same company, correct.
Same company with adult ed. So to add the rest of the district on. Okay. All right, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, and this would be a long time coming. There's actually a couple of portables. If you go outside and look that way, on the right side, there are a ton of records that are needed for pupil services. And we asked the question today, well, how often do they access these records that are up to 7 years old? And the answer was every day. Every single day, they're accessing IEP records for annual evaluations, triennial evaluations, records requests. So it's a very, very much needed service.
And just to clarify, this won't add the rest of the district, but the plan will be to add the other departments as we.
Okay, this is just for IAB, right?
This was for pupil services.
Pupils. Okay, gotcha.
We'll be adding, the HR department spoke about it today. So we have lots of files that need this service. So we will be bringing more contracts with SciTech in the future to get this work done. It's been needed for a long time.
Well, and once we, say for this, once we approve the contract and all this goes through, will that actually get us to a point where those files are no longer, we can be digital then?
Correct.
Okay.
And as part of the contract, they will warehouse all of our documents for us for up to a year, or we can warehouse them here if we wanted both versions. But once you go digital, that's pretty much all you need.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, is there any requirements how long we have to keep these documents?
It's 7 years.
7 years. Mm-hmm. So, and they'll only do it for a year.
Well, the initial scanning of the 1.5 million is what this contract will include.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it goes forward in subsequent years, I'm not sure. I didn't read through it that closely.
I don't know.
I don't think it
I
does.
think it's
We
just
would
for
probably
the
bring back a new contract for that.
But this will also include files that go long past 7 years as well.
The only question I have is we're piecemealing a little here, a little here, a little here. Why don't we just do a big old contract and everybody be on it and we can get the numbers on that? Because it's when we keep piecing it, and I think in the long run, we lose money because we're putting little packets together. And what we need to do is negotiate one big packet.
I think we were intimidated by the idea of losing our paper. And so this has been learning process for us to get comfortable with.
Mhm.
And then the plan, I think, moving forward will be to do a larger contract where we do it all at one time. But this is the first time Barstow Unified School District has implemented an electronic service company to put all of our files into electronic format. And I think some of us are hesitating a bit and we're a bit nervous at letting our paper files go.
So the scary thing is, this contract, they want to keep it for a year. You got to keep it for 7 years anyway. I would think you would like, hey, we need to modify this.
No, we'll keep the records for as long as we need them. The service to scan them all in is the 1.5.
It's gonna take that long.
Okay.
But then once we have it though, then if we have
every year
all of it and it is digital, so then the 1 year storage after that isn't necessarily
needed.
all that relevant because now we have it digital,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay.
And we don't need paper. We don't need the hard copy.
Correct.
Once
That's what I'm saying.
once we make the transition, yeah.
Yes. And it's going to take a year. I just want to get this clear in my
Well, I mean, we're talking millions.
Yeah, and it's going to take a year to do that. Correct?
Yes.
So.
But that's the
No, we
proposal.
were talking about.
That gives them at least a year to get it done.
It gives us a year to make up our minds whether we want to do this for everything.
And I'm being told the plans to have it done before the start of the 25-26 school year.
That is correct.
To
Pupil
have-
services will
for
be
pupil services.
completed before the start of the school year.
Okay. Good.
So they're giving themselves a lot of time. Good. And I will ask, if we go forward, I will ask that they take into consideration our past contracts, so that.
Exactly. Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, going baby steps is, I think is, good, safe way. And I think this is, I'm not no computer guy by any, IT is not my thing. But, once you have digital, I think that's gonna help out a lot with employees, hours spent, not going down to the dungeon at the high school and, having the whole crew throw away papers and just shuffle them around. I think it's a good way to go, and I'm not here to tell you how to do your job, but thank you for letting us, informing us. And I'm all for it.
Smart move. Good.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now we go to business services. L41, purchase order board report, 3/18/2025 to 3/28/2025.
So the district is recommending the board approve the 95 purchase orders listed in the attached purchase order board report totaling $2,004,415.11.
I just had one, it's a little bit farther down, but it was about the marquees. So.
Question? Go
Or
with.
is that for all the schools? Are we on track? This is actually the marquees coming in and.
So we're no longer gonna call them marquee, we're gonna call them electronic message boards, because that's truly what they are.
Okay.
The reason for it
That
is,
was because it frustrates me when they call me marquee.
and I am to please. Back during COVID, we had difficulties communicating with our community. And so with these electronic message boards, we'll be able to do that more efficiently and quickly. We'll also be able to communicate swiftly with the community, and they're gonna look great. I've had a little team together, and we designed the little logos and the wording. I'm very pleased. I can't wait to share them with you. We're actually doing the pre-bid walk on this Friday, as far as the installation, but the signs are being ordered as we speak, because we approved them with the CMS.
Nice. So I would assume that's for all the school sites, one for each site.
Also, we have 4 that don't have anything at all, so they'll be getting 4 electronic messaging boards.
Or that don't have the old marquee boards.
Right, and so 8 of them will be replacing either the old marquee boards or the ones that are wall mounted on the wall. So there's
Okay.
depending on which And we're gonna do it all at once instead of having, before it was all done sporadically. So I'm really excited. It's really coming good.
Do we have any kind of an ETA?
June 23rd is when the plan is to begin installation. I hope to have them done by September. I don't want to throw a date out there, but, cause been burned before. So. That is the plan right now, is to start them, June 23rd.
Yeah, I was looking at the sports one up there, 82,000 or something. I was trying to write down anyhow, I sure hope they're getting school colors, not just black. You know what I mean? We got,
Yes.
I don't even know how to say it, but I mean, Barstow High School's got one color,
Yep.
But I think,
Theirs is gonna be, red and gold.
Well,
right.
can we find it? Cause I'd like to, do you know if it was closer to the top?
It was kind of, got to go up some. It was at the Barstow High School, Barstow Sports, I think it was. Under the high school.
The jersey.
So we're looking under location for Barstow. Right there.
Sports. I thought it said jerseys.
Yeah.
It does.
So.
Well, it's not 82,000.
So just to, if I'll say it, and if I'm incorrect, you can correct me, but the school sites or whoever the individual, the locations are coming from, they're the ones putting in the requests. And then they get approved through fiscal, but basically meaning like the school or whoever it is that's putting it on there, they're the ones who are requesting it. It's not the district telling them you have to.
No, I'm not telling
this
anybody
kind of
else that it
jersey
just
or-
doesn't look good. I don't like it. I mean, that's what best I can say.
Okay.
We have school colors, coaches should wear the school colors, you know what I mean, coming out in black and just.
Yeah. Okay.
They can do what they want. I'm just saying that, we gotta be proud of what we are, I know some people in need to wear black and kind of the figures or something like that, but, silver and black, and you know what I mean? It's, we're Aztec, red and gold there, and we should be proud of that, That's just all I'm saying. I'm not trying to.
No, you're good.
be a
I just
dictator.
I just wanted to make sure we all knew like it wasn't, the district forcing the schools.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that at all.
I'm
Not
gonna
even
request
close.
Mr. Beaton send me the pictures.
For the
And then
for the
the
electronic
message boards, and I'll put them on Friday. So you can see them.
Then you'll be as excited as
Did you want to see the pictures for the jerseys as well?
Yeah, well, not today. I mean,
Oh, I don't know if I have access to those. Well, we probably
We
reach
can get
her in the chief.
when they come in,
Yeah.
yes, or at least.
We'll be in your department. Yeah, we can get pictures of this as well. Cool. Move them on Friday.
All right. Any other questions on the purchase orders? Yep. All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, next is personnel services classified L6B1 supplemental assignments, facilities, M&O, maintenance and operations, electrician.
And in Mr. Gutierrez's absence, I've asked Dr. Williams to cover this item as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hooker, our Director of Facilities and Maintenance, is asking for additional time to support with an electrician project. So we're asking the board to approve additional hours to be filled by someone off the substitute list to be able to support the existing projects in the department between now and the end of the fiscal year of June 30th. And that'll add about $6,300 to the general fund. I know Mr. Eustace is familiar with working off of the substitute list, but much like tonight where you approved different substitutes, they're only able to work when someone's gone. These hours will allow them to work even while the electrician is there to get more things done.
Right on. Productivity, yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna sound weird, but we're talking about Director of Facility Maintenance and Operations, substitute, what? What,
It's a substitute for the electrician position, but as I mentioned, this would be a chance for someone on the substitute list to come in and assist with projects, even when the electrician is still at work.
Well, no, I understand that.
So, substitute for the electrician position.
So we have a substitute list for facility maintenance.
We have a substitute list for the electrician position.
Yeah, but I'm talking about all of facility maintenance. We have a substitute list. Somebody's not there, they can bring them in.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want.
And a big project, you could have an assistant.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. It's a very dangerous job.
I think when you said substitute list, I'm like, what?
At one time, we did have 2 electricians.
Yeah. As a maintenance guy.
Yeah,
So
we had window glazer, had more groundsmen. That's for another day.
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Do I have any items for future board meetings?
Not at this time.
All right. And I don't believe we need to do a second close.
You're not.
All right. Then, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is 6:47. We're adjourned.
Really?
Christina.
Yeah, if you just hang up one.
I got you.
So you
And
have
that's what's in
to- that's the-
Good, and then.
You said the list stuff.
I'm just gonna look back.
Whatever.